You said it, Jacob. Pablo Bevi's first place on the leaderboard now. Merstash Malabuka in second. Queasy Thomas HD in third. As now instantly right back into the action.
I feel like every single game today, we might have a different first place team. I feel like that's the trend.
Yeah.
The 1.5 points with the how well everyone's playing. It's not just one team playing well. Everyone is playing lights out in this competition. So you got to think fights like this, no matter how well you did in that last game for Queasy Thomas, are never going to come easy. And we're even seeing the ballistic shield coming out from Thomas. Doesn't have any close range, so it could be the play for him, especially with Queasy going down off spawn.
Thomas needs to get ballistic here, but he's unable to. Eliminated off spawn, off the drop. From third place on the leaderboard to now 0 points in game 2. Levin was talking about it, Mini. Could Pablo Bevis be the first? One of the first, I mean, Danish players to secure an FNCS title before Thomas HD with his history of the most top 10s, 7 top 3s yet to get that FNCS. That would be a script and a half.
Definitely would kind of be a huge treat. Just like this opportunity here to see the replay of Mongraal and Savage. We saw this highly contested fight 6 out of 6 games throughout the day yesterday, and Savage taking the fight to them, breaking through the door even to go ahead and give Mongraal and him a nice opportunity to play this game out.
Now, yesterday we did say there was 3 duos contesting fencing fields. However, it seems they don't really take those early engagements, unlike Tina and Misha. Sorry. It looks like they're gonna right off the bat eliminate Skydune. Quick 6 points, and his duo Shakoth now on the run.
Yeah, and I would say typically Teeny and Misha are trying to chase it down, but I don't see crash pads, I don't see grapple blades. Even with a few Flowberry Fizz is in his inventory, you kind of don't want to waste those when you can't really close the distance. So great awareness of the situation for Teeny and Misha to just disengage, continue looting up, grab the resources, let those eliminations come to you later on. You don't want to risk it for just those 6 points, Takata. There's 100 points up for grabs for placement alone. You needed that. You needed about 10 elims with a win yesterday just to score 100 points. Now it's just that much easier.
It really is. And for Ping and Mixon, we're up on the snowy hill now. They do have that launch pad that they can use to maximize efficiency on their loot path. But it's all about preparation. As look at that, his duo partner now jumped on. Instant need for assistance. Ping manages to get the knock. It's on Nathan. CZZ gets sniped as well. The 2v1 continues.
Yeah, mixing pings. They were at the top of the leaderboard for most of the day yesterday as well. And you can see why these great scenarios that they're putting themselves in, especially with that sniper in the hands of Mixon. And we've seen it. We talked about Thomas. We talked about Venno. There's a lot of good snipers going under the radar this season, and this is a great opportunity to highlight those snipers.
I mean, they're devastating. You can think of players, Venno, Thomas HD, King, any of these players with a sniper in hand turns them into the Reaper. One shot is all it takes to turn the, not just tables around, it could turn your whole game around. As Vico, Pink, Kiro, Kiduo, once again, the battle continues.
This time around, they're at least able to get one, kind of toss it back in their favor. And even though they're battling it out yesterday, it was back and forth, back and forth. Nobody really able to find their stride between the two teams, even third parties interrupting it at one point or another. Pink and Vico on the hunt. Kiro's gonna get spotted out. Shield's gonna get dropped. Pink almost getting dropped himself with a trade, but Kiro's finally gonna go down, which gives it all over to Pink and Vico, and possibly the forecast tower as well once they make their way over.
Look, that's 1-1 for day 2. Kiro Kiduo took the battle in the last match, but the question is, the players in the surrounding areas, they're looking at the feed, they know this engagement's going on, and they might use that information to try and take the forecast tower from them. So hopefully Pink and Vico will be able to claim that, as they did come out on top in the fight. But we'll take a look at another one going on here. Cringe and Noms kind of scouting out what's going on down here by the reboot van. It's Arya and Low-Keyed, Robin Madax. But so far, they're just kind of, you know, chilling in their own boxes. Nothing happening yet. Both crouched. Maybe they're trying to, like, fake them out, pretend they've already left, but it's going to be a long time before anything happens there. Reason for deal, though. Not a great game one. Not a great start to day two. And if Reason gets knocked down here, it could be devastating.
Huge flank third party by Andalex and Sato. And immediately, look at the minimap. They got their surge. Trying to disengaging. Mox, Lazen are there as well. Everybody just trying to rotate on out, maybe even follow the train towards the zone. We haven't necessarily seen it on stream, but throughout the day yesterday, there have been teams using that train to rotate in as deep to the center of the zone as possible. And we're really seeing things and a lot of the tricks come out as Yanis Flixie going against Pink and Vico. They saw the fight in the feed and they're ready to end it in favor of themselves. Vico dropped down to just a sliver of HP, and the persistence is there from Flixie. He even has the card. He's just trying to make his way in to capture it. But I think Pink and Vico are doing a good job of defending the terminal.
This is exactly what we talked about. Yanis and Flixie capitalizing on knowing that Pink and Vico just came out of an engagement, are most likely not that healthy, might not even be around the forecast tower, which is why they were able to get that card. But the thing is, they're not the only duo that's interested. You saw Tayson as well. Veno kind of saying, do we join this party? We weren't invited, but we might be able to sneak in, as Yanis and Flixie quickly see the danger and decide, you know, we've already got the tower. It's been secured. We don't need those eliminations. We don't need to risk anything else.
That's just literally quick thinking by Yanis and Flixie to be able to see that in the feed and then rotate straight on over to take control before Pink and Vico can actually get back on over there from their contested fight. And this is something that we've seen out of Yanis and Flixie, the ability to adapt on the fly. Flixie even getting his first VR in the finals lobby. They're just upward trajectory from there. They just need to have that solid performance here today to really cap it all off. And for Yanis, that'll be another FNCS champion. For Flixie, it's finally being able to put some respect on his name.
Beto now looking to see what has gone wrong in this forecast battle, trying to see if he can maybe find a bit more information. He does have 32 shots inside of that Reaper sniper rifle in the chamber, ready to let loose. But so far, unable to see much. They're just going to continue with the rotate. Almost max materials. Good loadout already with mobility and 3 big pots.
Almost looked like their original plan there was kind of disrupt that forecast tower fight, but too many players already did just that. I saw it in the feed. Production read my mind. Bebies goes down. Pablo's gotten a feeling of deja vu. I'm a solo yet again. And it's Marius and Sangil, the same team, made it towards the end, won that last game, and was a huge part in making sure Pablo did go down. But it does look like he's going to be able to escape for now. Nobody's hot on the chase just yet, but he has to be careful because he is on the edge of zone. Teams are beginning to rotate in that direction. You see 2 already on the minimap, a 3rd following the train. So Pablo has to really think outside of the box of when and where he's going to go back for Bebi's reboot card, because we know 100%. I can almost give you a Jacob guarantee that we'll see Bebi's back in this game sooner or later.
Look, I'm going to ride your boat. I got the confidence as well, especially from what we saw in the last match. Tino, Chapix. I don't know if this is going to be a full-on engagement, Jacob, but it could just be, actually, as Teeny going straight onto Chapix, cracking him. Only left with white HP. Tino as well gets knocked. Upper hand now for Misha and Teeny. The 2v1. Will they be able to close it out? They do.
Wow, Chapix went for the repeat. I can see what he's thinking in his mind. You know, they're going ahead, getting that elimination onto my teammates, scrounging up the loot. I can at least get one freebie, but he gets denied that opportunity. Free trip back to the lobby. Veno Tayson. fight that I thought they were going to take a little bit early on towards the forecast tower, now happening towards Grand Glacier. They don't like the positioning, so Taste and Veno immediately disengage. Not too far off, though, just to give themselves the advantage in terms of elevation. So that way they can really kind of get the information, if any players are around them, to figure out, is this something they want to take? Do they want to hold their position? Or maybe even rotate on out?
Yeah, looks like, especially in these grand finals, you don't want to take too many risks. You want to wait till you have a high chance of coming out on top in whatever risky scenario you want to get yourself into. I do feel bad for Pink and Vico, though. They just can't stop. Whether it's the off-spawn engagement from Kiro and Kiduo to the third parties that come in after, trying to take their forecast tower. I mean, they've been having some really difficult early to mid games, and we know the potential they have in those late games. I drop a Nebs, though, looking to do a bit of damage as they look for those angles on it. Looks to be Aqua and his duo partner.
Quickly trying to take some high, but Aqua is just hot on the chase, and high ground isn't going to come that easy. Lands a little bit of a shot, not too much to scare down iDrop just yet. But any advantage is better than no advantage. Noah, Aqua, this is their chance to disengage, especially with Noah just dropping down to 38 shield. Only has 5 left on the Flowberry Fizz, so it isn't a ton to get him back up. So it's very, very important that they figure out a way in towards zone, because not only they're traveling parallel to the team that were just fighting, but there's a whole team playing Gatekeeper on top of that forecast tower. And it's going to be hard for Aqua and Noah to rotate their way in, so interesting to see what decision they make. I know if they keep going towards the east, they might be able to use the line of sight of the mountain to their advantage.
3 bullets in the chamber. All it takes is 1. Can Aqua connect that headshot that they might so desperately need, with Noah already being incredibly low on shield? Not much to recuperate. Walks Pixie, connecting 1. These snipes can be incredibly beneficial in terms of getting that damage you need for the Storm Surge threshold. If you have that ammunition to spare, the extra sniper bullets to help you take more of those shots, it could be the game-changing factor of getting enough damage.
Yeah, huge blessing that Hari was able to kind of go back to that cache that was literally just 2 boxes behind. So nice damage in terms of the sniper, but not really going to be able to notice it on the next rotation. Now that he's going to get all shielded up. Vidil Reason in a tough spot not too long ago. Finally able to kind of bounce back. Now they set their eyes on the Seti and Cammy, but they know at least one of these players is weak, and they're attacking from 2 different angles. Vidil just trying to go straight in from the low ground. Reason working his way from the top to bottom. Finally they reunite, and they're able to get 1. Cammy gets dropped down, leaving Seti by himself. The struggles for our global invitational champions continue.
Seti put him to panic now as he's forced into the 1 versus 2. But it looks like Reason isn't done yet. It's Mongrel close by that wants to escape, but he's been cracked now. Just gonna take 2 more shots, 2 big ones from that Frenzy to finish it off, as now nowhere to run, nowhere to escape. And that's another Elim on the board for Vidil and Reason.
Yeah, 6 more points, starting to pick up the pace. Game 7 of the overall tournament, which was game 1 on the day. A little bit of a misstep, and sometimes, especially with 1.5 points, that 1 misstep is all it takes to cost you that first place spot. So they're really gonna have to dig deep and make up for it. Marius Sandguild, top of Loot Island, along with 1 other team, but you can see they're trying to just loot up, scrap together as much as they can. It's actually Phaser and King who are gonna get credit for capturing the Rift Island. No points, but they're gonna be the ones to scavenge all that loot that they just were able to get.
Didn't have the best start to day 1, but if I know anything about King, he can turn things around, especially with the sniper in hand. For Pablo, though, has been unable to pick up bevies yet. He is still looking healthy, but the clock's ticking. 30 seconds until this 4th zone closes and 5th appears, and with 2 duos in a battle in front of him, he might find an opportunity to take that snipe, get that headshot, but he's unable to connect the first bullet.
Hey, persistence is key. He does have the 3 medkits as well, but this is vital information because there's only X amount of teams still left in this lobby, 36 overall, him being one of them. And with the rotations coming out, if he was able to get the reboot card, he could outlast the zone, get Bevies back in. Because I predicted Bevies to be back. I thought he'd be back by now, but Pablo just leaving us in suspense a little bit longer, trying to go for a couple more snipes, but crash padding as Darky and Darkest to make their way on out. And finally, Pablo sets his eyes on that reboot.
So this time, brings his duo back in. It's difficult though, Jacob. Grand Finals, lobby, 400 metal to work with, barely any wood or brick, and now having to rotate in, having to loot up his duo partner. I believe he did have 3 medkits and 3 big pots, so they have a decent amount of consumables, but they will be used to get Bevies back into the game. They're going to need a refresh early on, but anything's possible as we look right back at Fadil and Reason.
Traveling on the congested side of zone. Swizzy, Putrix, the ones directly in their line of sight, but you can see in the minimap, so many teams littered around this same rotation, trying to find their way in. In a couple of seconds, zone's going to force them in anyway, as Swizzy and Putrix still trying to get the last of the shots before they make their rotation on out. And it's not too far of a rotation for a lot of these teams. But when you're rotating parallel with a lot of them, that's where it gets disastrous. As Pablo, Bevies finally up. They have the high ground, but they're down on Surge. With everybody rotating, this is a great chance for them to pick up some shots here.
One shot, Jacob. One shot is all it takes. And there it is, 116 from Pablo. This should be enough to bring him above, 62 above now. It's not going to be enough for the rest of the match, but it's going to be enough to hold on here just a bit longer. Only a shotgun and sniper in hand, as I assume Bevies has taken the AR. Medkits being split up, ammunition being split up, as they continue now to hunt for another shot.
They're doing just enough to stay ahead of the curve. 62 above, but Veno, Tayson under pressure. Noah, Aqua going to be the ones on the other side. Out of zone, no HP. Veno gets dropped again. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Tayson. Medkit getting canceled. Noah goes in, but he gets sent right back on out, leaving Aqua by himself. But Tayson is running out of time. This is a 2-tick. Now or never for the Medkit. With 1 HP left, he finally gets it off to try to keep himself alive. But Aqua is still knocking on the door on the other side. He finally is disengaged. I think they realize this is almost a no-win scenario for both of these teams if they don't get out. And he actually goes down. The medallion gets dropped. Aqua, Noah are out.
With a sliver of HP, literally 1 for Tayson. He gets the medkit off in time, and with that, out heals Aqua to finish him off. But now with Veno being eliminated, Tayson being outside of the zone, he has a launch pad he can use to get back in. Not even sure if he has time to loot up Aqua. Let's see what happened to Bevies and Pablo, though.
All right, so Pablo's already down. Just a much-needed elimination. You said it as well, kind of when it was happening, even though Bevies is back, they're going to need a refresh. Look at his loot. If he doesn't have ammo, he doesn't have materials, using all of his heals. Pablo, lucky enough, before going down, was able to kind of gather up enough shots with Surge. But now he has to return the favor and have a big solo clutch opportunity. Unless he pulls a Malabuka and tries for the reboot a second time.
I was going to say, we saw it happen in the semifinals. And I believe it was actually in the late game. Merstash picked up Malabuka and they almost traded themselves, leaving him as a solo to finish it. Until he picked him back up again. But that's going to be difficult here for Bevies. He is 231 above, though. No minis. 11 wood. 1 build. This is really something where you need a miracle, a blessing to come out of.
Yeah, he's just trying to rotate, get next to a team, but not too close to where they're going to push him. He needs to make himself kind of look like a duo, because if they spot him out as a solo, they're going to go. Cade, Diox fighting towards the backside of the zone, getting smushed further and further back, but they're actually going to get granted the zone as the next one Buzz pull over in their direction. Nice opportunity for Bevies to hit a shot, but he is just in shambles, getting ping-ponged around the lobby, not really able to decide what he wants to do at almost any given moment. Oh, man.
3 builds now, all metal. If that duo that took shots pursues him, it could be the end of Bevies. Tayson, though, 30 below. No duo partner to help him with damage. It's all up to him. One of the Fortnite goats. Is he able to do it? Surge just gets the better of him. As now Bevies 197 above, 14 HP, 2 builds, and a dream.
14 HP. All you need to do is at least have 1 HP. Be able to stay alive. Common sense. He's just outside the edge of zone as well, but he can immediately go back in. You see a lot of the builds that are going to be recyclable for a situation like this. It's all about what happens after, because you see him down low, kind of in a trench between two of the biggest mountains in the zone right now. If it pulls to either one, that's what I'm going to continue to get a little scared for Bevies, but one team needs to go down, and he'll at least start to collect those placement points.
Malabuka looking to see if he can connect the shot here. AR in hand, hits 2, hits 3. One more needed to get the knock on Pixie, but it helps with the damage. Now, 27 above, 94 with the hits. Can they hold on, though? Just 19 seconds left until this zone closes.
Malabuka and Mustache, they don't really have to do much. They're not the highest elevation, but they do have the natural mountain behind them. So lessens the chance of somebody being able to break into the box, but Mixin pings a whole different side of that Storm Surge threshold. Not going to be a ton, but 34 below. Not very many opportunities there as we look at an opportunity here. Bevies. Oh my gosh! The Reaper Sniper, no scope, not no quick scope at close range. Talk about getting back into the game. Bevies has finally done it. And with the massive solo clutch the game prior by Pablo, this is his chance to return the favor. And now Pablo won't be able to hold it over his head if they win.
Bevies inventing new words with that headshot snipe. 3 now on the board. Will this be history once again? A solo clutch. He has the damage from that headshot. He has the loot, and now back up 120 builds. More than enough materials to clutch it out. Only thing you could even ask for is a bit of shields, but there is potential to make something happen.
And this is perfect situation in terms of zone. It's a far pull for everybody in the lobby, so there's not going to be great and too many opportunities for people to just sit back, camp, wait for zone, and try to target out a solo like Bevies. He just needs another one of these far pulls. He'll be A-okay as the rest of the lobby finally makes their way in. Placement points being gathered with every team that goes down. Oh, but Bevies goes down himself. That's Vico who went in, but Pink got lost along the way. So another solo opportunity in the form of Pinko coming up soon.
Let's see how it happened. Bevies even built 4 boxes. It seemed to be the safer play, but with his roof, his cone replaced, he did go down. Ping Mixin, though, 4 elims on the board. Just like that, an extra 24 points going into this end game. 3 medkits to work with, 3 bigs. They're already ahead of zone as well. They can't even recuperate what they've used here. Question is, what do they want? Do they want to elevate themselves more? What layer are they playing for? So far, I'm trying to see as well who might be peaking for that high ground. It is 9th zone. It's the first moving, and it commences.
Yeah, what they're doing, you can see it. Peeking through the cone, gathering information, which gives them flexibility and options. Do I stagger myself? Do I continue to stay towards the front side? Depending on what they see here is going to give them that answer. As Mustache fumbling, bumbling a little bit, trying to make it on over to Malabuka as players cut off his path with the grapple blade, but no harm, no foul, able to reunite into the same box. Voco and Vortexers having to do the same thing, but 21 below the damage threshold. The quick fadeaway shot coming out from Voco is going to get him above, but he takes a shot himself, trying to reunite with Vortexers, so that way they can try to heal up as best as he can.
Big pot getting put to good use. Vortex's Voco looking to continue strong. It's going to be Reason Vadil trying to make a comeback from that game 1. They have the high ground. Can they hold on?
Question we're going to be asking ourselves. 364 above, but almost every game so far, no matter if it was early in the 9th zone, late in the 11th zone, somebody usually tries to threaten to take over that high ground, claim it for themselves. Mixin 195, plenty of builds to work with, but he is going to be a solo. Spots somebody right in front, quick reaction to turn around, and once again, grapple blade to the front side of the zone, being able to recycle some of these builds and save it for when he needs it most.
Mixin has to clutch it up. He has that Mythic Frenzy. He has a good amount of builds, even ahead of zone. With those 3 medkits, the potential to play back and slow when he runs out of materials. Mustache Malabuka, though, showing their dominance with 3 elims. Issue is, they could use a bit more materials, but they're more than healthy. for the rest of this zone.
Yeah, but this consistency is absolutely insane for Malibuca and Mustache. They're slowly but surely moving up the leaderboard, which is hard to say because they're already at the top of it. Started in 3rd place on the day, slowly but surely taking over other spots. Vortexer's lost Voco. You saw his shields get dropped not too long ago, so now Vortexer's left by himself, trying to grapple blade once more to the front side of the zone. Ends up almost getting boxed up, but it doesn't matter. Marius and Sangil, 2 shots are better than 1. Take him down.
Wanting to get the back-to-back VR as Vidil Reason still up strong above. Marius Sangil now trying to build up as this zone does pull towards a ridge. They cannot get trapped here. They need to elevate themselves as quickly as possible, but as all duos have the same plan in mind, they get trapped together on the journey up the hill. As his duo partner Sangil goes down, so does Marius.
Yeah, he tries to backtrack in his zone. That was 2 different teams that took part in eliminating that one. As Shari, Gearus trying to go ahead and get a flank on Andalex and Sato. So far, it's working to fruition, but they immediately drop down low. Find a shot on the Nev, but I think iDrop was able to scoop him up before the elimination actually went through, saving the loot for himself, but another traded shot going off. Hari is doing his best to go ahead and dominate the lobby, but he finds a med kit towards the backside. He's going to allow himself to stagger backside of zone.
It was Malibuca who got eliminated, as now zone pulling under the train tracks. iDrop using that as he builds close to one of the pillars, but with just 10 HP, he's forced to pop a medkit.
Yeah, a lot of these medkits coming out a little bit earlier than some would hope, but the trend for FNCS continues. Not too many heal off as Hari's just trying to get some extra points, but he gets shut down from the high ground. Andalex, Sato look towards the back. They find out Art Skill. Another couple eliminations going to be grabbed, and they position themselves in the top 3.
5 players up, 3 duos. We still have Vidil and Reason up above. Cade is going to be the solo. Goes down to zone. The 2v2 height versus low as Reason drops in. Cracks one, unable to get the knock. Vidil now forced as a solo.
He still has the medkits. He gets it canceled, though, by a threat to try to jump up. Second one going off. It's also going to be canceled. He drops down onto Andalex. Sato was already down. Vidil has woken up from his slumber after day 1 to awaken here in game 2 on the day to take it all.
Back in business from a rough game 1 after dominating day 1, finishing in 1st place. They are back on their throne.
And that's what happened. The topsy-turvy for those points. 1.5 times points compared to yesterday. And I said it, we are going to see that leaderboard change hands almost every single game today. And with a valiant effort from Bebbies and his solo clutch, he went down far too early to where points like this, a win like this, 6 eliminations, 100 points from placement alone, Takada, they have to be sitting pretty in 1st.
1 year ago, Reason